Today at the Delicious Crescent, I am going to show you how to make Nihari, a succulent stew with large chunks of tender, fall-apart beef shanks in a rich, silky smooth and mouth-watering gravy. Popular in the Indian subcontinent, Nihari is one of the easiest delicacies to make. And I also share tips to lighten it up while still keeping the taste authentic. Now let's make it. First, we will make the Nihari spice blend. Don't let the long list of spices deter you. This is the only big effort in the recipe. Take coriander seeds, fennel seeds, black peppercorns, cumin seeds, shah jeera, cloves, mace, nutmeg, cinnamon, black cardamom, green cardamom, star anise. We will add bay leaves directly to the stew and black seeds. Roast the whole spices in a preheated skillet until aromatic. Roasting will coax the oils out and make the aroma more intense, but don't overdo it as overheating the spices would not be good. Allow the spices to cool. Add dried ginger powder and grind it into fine powder. Be sure not to skimp on the spices and other aromatics. Heat oil in a large cooking pot at medium-high. Add sliced onions, sauté until golden brown and set it aside. Make sure to brown the onions very well to add good flavor to the stew and for the onions to integrate completely into the gravy. A cast iron Dutch oven would be great for searing the meat and it retains heat well while slow cooking the meat with a smooth gravy. We need shank meat cut in large pieces or any cut with lots of connective tissue to get that famous Nihari texture and taste. Other cuts of meat will not give you the same authentic taste. Pat the meat pieces dry using paper towels. In the same oil and pot, sear the meat shanks just on the surface and on all sides. This requires that the pan reaches a high heat but not smoking. Butchers from the Indian subcontinent and some halal meat shops are familiar with the Nihari meat cut, or try finding shank cross cuts used for making the Italian osso buco. Add ginger, garlic and stir couple minutes until the raw flavor disappears. To make Nihari, I often use beef shanks, but you can also use goat or lamb shanks or even chicken leg quarters. Next, add paprika, chili powder, turmeric, salt and stir. I use paprika for its nice red color but low heat. Use Kashmiri red chili powder for the same color but more heat. Then add Nihari spice blend and bay leaves. I rarely use ready-made spice blends, but Nihari is the only exception where a small amount of the popular shah Nihari mix can add an interesting taste sometimes. Use only a tiny bit because it is very hot and salty. Don't ever use garam masala for Nihari. That will not work for this recipe. Now add the fried onions. Pour 6 cups of water and bring it to a boil. Lower the heat and let it simmer for 2 to 3 hours and add more water as needed. Try to use marrow bones as they add flavor. Ask your butcher for some extra bones when you shop for meat shanks. It will give you the perfect Nihari taste. Traditionally, braised shanks were slow cooked overnight with bones, onions, and spices, turning it into a breakfast feast by morning. The meat is meltingly soft and falling apart into the rich and silky gravy. It is then enjoyed with fresh baked naan. This beef stew can be a real treat in wintertime. As the meat cooks slowly for a long time, the collagen in the connective tissue breaks down, dissolving into the gravy, giving it that thick, smooth, and silky consistency. Also, the meat will become tender and the fat will render out. When the gravy is cooled down, it gets that soft gel-like texture that we are familiar with gelatin. Nihari is one of the best recipes to make in a slow cooker. It will turn out perfect. Collagen breakdown needs time, which slow cooking allows. When the meat is about 80% done, take some durum whole wheat flour, also known as atta, and combine with liquid. It is best to cool some of the cooking liquid and use that. Ideally, use a whisk to make a smooth and thin paste. Then add the paste back to the stew slowly while stirring it quickly to prevent lump formation, like thickening a soup or a thin custard. And adding the flour into the gravy enhances the silky consistency we get from the collagen we talked about earlier. Be sure to add the flour paste gradually and use only as needed. If you use too much flour paste, the gravy will become too thick. Let the nihari simmer until the meat is fall apart tender, so it breaks easily with a wooden spoon, and much of the oil will gradually trickle to the surface. Nihari will thicken as it will cool, so turn off the heat when it reaches about 80% of the desired thickness. You can scoop off the oil and use it later to drizzle on the nihari as needed. The taste of this dish comes from the tender, fall-apart meat, the silky, smooth gravy, the spices, aromatics, and only some of it from the oil. So you don't need layers of oil on the top for a great nihari. Garnish with ginger and cilantro. Serve green chilies and lemon wedges on side to use as per taste. I have a Persian style braised lamb shanks which I have linked here. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.